大家好 ，Hello everyone. I'm Wu from Hebei University of Economics and Business. 我是来自河北经贸大学的老师吴英。很开心今天咱们一起可以去游览西安。It's very nice to meet you again, and I'm so glad that we could enjoy another special journey together. When we talk about long history and splendid culture of China, Xi'an will definitely come into your mind. Xi'an, located just here, located in central northwest China, records the great changes of the country, just like a living history book, called Chang'an. Well, Chang'an in Chinese, that means the eternal city. Chang'an in ancient times, it is one of the birthplaces of the ancient Chinese civilization in the Yellow River Basin area. As the eastern terminal of the Silk Road, you must be very familiar with the Silk Road. Chang'an is the start and the site of the famous terracotta warriors of the Qin dynasty. The city has won a reputation all over the world. So most of my friends, when they talk about China, they always want to go to Xi'an. Xi'an is also home to a lot of relics because it has more than 3,000 years. Benefiting from the fertile land and the comfortable climate in ancient times, the rulers of 13 successive dynasties have set up their capitals here. Therefore, a wealth of historical heritages has been left. Okay, let's check. Xi'an was the capital of 13 dynasties, historically known as Chang'an. Xi'an was home to the ruling house of 13 dynasties, including the Qin, Han, Sui, and Tang dynasties. They are all huge and big periods, have a very powerful influence all over the world. Because of the long history, so Xi'an has plenty of historical relics. Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who set up the first feudal dynasty in Xi'an, left a terracotta army, which is one of the world's most extraordinary archaeology finds. During the Tang Dynasty, Buddhist culture prevailed in central China, and the giant wild goose pagoda and the small wild goose pagoda were built to preserve the Buddhist scriptures. In the Ming Dynasty, the city wall, bell tower, and the drum tower were constructed, which presently attract visits by hundreds of thousands of tourists from home and abroad. These tourists make Xi'an one of the top cities to visit in China. Because Xi'an is the starting point of the Silk Road, so there are something related with this long road. The Silk Road is the world-renowned ancient trade route that originated during the Western Han Dynasty, stretching from Chang'an, now we call it Xi'an, all the way to the Mediterranean. You can see from this picture, from Chang'an until to the Middle European, evidence of the flourishing trade along this road can be found in Shanxi History Museum and the Fanmen Temple. Another reminder of the enduring legacy of the Silk Road is the Great Mosque, presenting a strong Muslim minority whose faith remains unchanged, although their architecture styles mix Chinese and Western tradition. Also, Xi'an is a paradise for foodies. In China, especially for the ancient cities, most have a lot of delicious foods. Because of its location in the center of China, Shanxi cuisine combines various ingredients and cooking skills from both North and South China. Tourists can not only taste crumbled flavored in mutton stew, also 肉夹馍 and 凉皮, but also eat ground shipped chicken, spicy pig's kidney, and something like that. All the delicious foods later I will introduce you. Here is another interesting noodles, biang biang noodles. At the last part, I will show you because it's one of the most representative dishes of Xi'an. I think all the food is worth trying. Muslin quarter is also a very famous food streets popular among tourists. Xi'an has a lot of attractions and it's also convenient to visit because it has a huge transportation system. Xianyang International Airport is the largest airport in northwest China, serves the domestic and international flights to and from Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, or Taipei, Tokyo, London, Paris, or some big cities. In addition, it is a large hub along China's vast railway network, and from here, passengers can reach almost every big city and tourism one in China. We can see from these pictures, Xi'an can go every big cities, especially take the Chinese high-speed train, because some people have elected that the new inventions for China, including this. In Xi'an, we'll go visit many places because Xi'an is a very famous tourist destination. During this journey, I want to take you to 4 lines. The main line in the city downtown of Xi'an, we can visit the city wall, some libraries, some museums. When we go to the east route and the west route and the south-north route to go visit the terracotta warriors and some temples, some beautiful tombs, and some other things. So this is our course. Next, let's start with this inner city. The first place I want to recommend you is a very famous museum. This museum really worth visiting, the Shanxi History Museum. This was regarded as the pearl of ancient dynasties and house of Chinese treasures, gives a miniature overview of the thousands of years of Chinese history and the splendid ancient cultures of olden times. Now there are 370,000 exhibits in the museum, vividly show the history of over 1 million years from prehistoric times. That means 1,100,000 years ago until to about 1840 AD. The ground buildings of Shanxi History Museum imitate the architecture styles of the Tang Dynasty with a 2-storied central hall and 4 worship houses around it. And this, you can see this picture. And this picture is vividly show what it looks like outside the museum. This is exactly what it looks like in Tang Dynasty. Well, in this museum, there are really the national treasures. For example, you can guess what is this? Yes, you can guess. What's the useful of this thing? Actually, it's a lantern. This lantern, it looks just like the goods, right? From outside. This lantern is usually a typical pattern in Han Dynasty. Let's go to move this beautiful painting. This painting was found from a tomb in Tang Dynasty. All the creatures, you can tell how from their hairstyles, from their makeup, and the ways how they wear their clothes, they are exactly what the people in Tang Dynasty look like. It looks like a tiger. Well, actually, it's a signal for you when during the wartime, only the general can take this. This tiger has 2 parts. One belongs to the emperor, the other one belongs to the general. Let's make this imagination. During that time, we do not have the Wi-Fi, we do not have the internet. So how the signal is pended? Just during with this tiger, if the emperor make an order to start or to defend their country, he will make this one to the general, and the general to exactly the other part, he will do the war, the preparation. So they are all wisdom of ancient Chinese people. Let's see this. This ball is made with golden. From the outside, the pattern we can see it looks like just a lotus. It's really made of gold. Because in Tang Dynasty, the people they like to use some these bowls to made of silver and golden. The last one is a famous pottery. It's a camel, and with some people from their hairstyles and the things they are carrying. This pottery just show how people amused when they on the camel. And when talk about the camel, you will think about the Silk Road. Just this few, only a few travelers you can see, but when you go to the museum, there are a lot of things waiting for you to discover. If you really want to know deeper about China, especially the Han Dynasty, Qin Dynasty, Han Dynasty, and the Tang Dynasty, of course, you should go visit this place first. Okay? After visiting the museum, you must know a lot of things about Xi'an. So next, let's check around the city wall. The city wall, you can see from the pictures, surrounds the square inner city. It is the most complete city wall to survive in the country, as well being one of the largest ancient military defensive systems in the world. Built first in the early Ming Dynasty and revolted in recent years, this city wall has 4 doors. And you may think how the city wall can be the military defense system because the ancient weapons didn't have the power to break through a wall, and the only way for the enemy to enter the city was by attacking the gate of the city wall. This is why complicated gate structures were built within the wall. This wall, you can see the 4 gates. Next, I will show you much more pictures to know the structure, how the city wall works when someone wants to run into this city. These several pictures shows you. Now, the city wall covers 13, almost 14 kilometers in length with a deep moat surrounding it. You can see the moat is here. And every 120 meters, there is a rampart which extends out from the main wall, just like this. Altogether, there are 98 ramparts, which were built to defend against the enemy climbing up. Each rampart has a sentry building. This is the sentry building in which the soldiers could protect themselves the entire wall without exposing themselves to the enemy. Besides, the distance between every 2 ramparts is just within the range of an arrow shot from either side, so that they could shoot the enemy who wanted to attack the city from the side. Nowadays, this city wall, the decorations in the city wall, and some ceremonies were held here. I think recent years, the most popular thing and the thing when you come visit the city wall you can never miss is cycling. Cycling all around the city wall. We are very happy when you do your cycling. You can not only enjoy the beautiful scenery all along the way. I think you could know more about how it works to define a city. Along the city wall, beside the city wall, there are 2 famous buildings. That is the bell tower and the drum tower. From the picture, you can see they are the bell tower. It's a traditional Chinese building. It just marks the center of the old Chang'an city. Now it has been the landmark because it connected to the east, south, and 4 directions in Ming Dynasty. And this wooden bell is the biggest and the best reserved these days. Besides this bell tower, there comes the drum tower. The drum tower is just northwest of the bell tower, across the bell and the drum tower square. Both of them are called the sister buildings or morning bell, dark drum. In ancient China, especially from the Yuan dynasty, the drums were used to signal the running of time, and on occasion were used as an alarm in emergency situations. Besides, we can visit another museum for you. We call it the Stately Forest Burning Museum. In this museum, tablet inscriptions has a lot. These things tell us about something about the regions, the style, and the facts of this time. Also provide you with a grasp of the general online Chinese history and the interaction with other countries. And for the fans, and if you are interested in Chinese calligraphy, these instructions, you can follow them to do your work. Another famous one is this pagoda, located just at the square. And this pagoda inside Da Ci Temple was originally built in 652 during the Emperor Gaozong in Tang Dynasty. It hosts the old Buddhist relics and classic from India, especially for Xuanzang. the pagoda surrounding areas nowadays become a popular area for locals and the tourists. As the symbol of the Xi'an, there is another one just looks like the wild goose pagoda. We name it the small wild goose pagoda. All the things, they are just the marks of the long Silk Road. I think everyone is interested in the history of Tang Dynasty. Do you want to go back to see what it looks like? If you really want to do this, you must go to Great Tang All Day Mall. This located south of the giant wild goose pagoda and west of Long Paradise. It's lined with buildings, especially featuring Tang Dynasty architectures and sculptures, just to tell the Tang stories. You can enjoy the street performance and go shopping and everything you want to do. Especially in Chinese New Year, there are a lot of people just go there to wait for the coming of the New Year. When you go to Xi'an, I think if you want to have a wonderful night, of course you should never miss it. This is the night view of this place. When you go around this street with all the actors featured in Tang styles, you have this energy, you have these skills to go back to the Tang Dynasty. Because there are a lot of tourists here with the lights and with some the technical, they just go back a lot of sceneries just exactly happened in Tang Dynasty. When the Lunar New Year come, the decoration just look like this. People all around. You can see this tower, right? The pagoda. And she is a very beautiful actor to do a performance for you. During this street, you cannot only to enjoy the imagination scenery of the Tang Dynasty, you can also enjoy the modern performance. Here is the spring. People believe that when you go along this road and shout loudly, the spring will go high. So very interesting. And these two pictures, this just show the Tang style. Maybe it's a fashion show in the Tang Dynasty. So if you are really crazy about the culture in Tang Dynasty, you will never definitely miss this.
没有墨汁的地方，你再蘸点墨汁，然后把它涂抹均匀。就是说根据这些这样的图案，看着这个一定要画标准。快点走吧，走了。
Well, after visiting the sceneries in the city, let's go to east. Well, in the east, there's a huge one waiting for you. Yes, that is the Qin Shi Huang emperor, the mausoleum for him. The mausoleum of the first Qin emperor. I think maybe the terracotta warriors being the most significant archaeological excavations of the 20th century and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Terracotta Army is no doubt a must-see for every visitor to Xi'an. Historical records, let's count. Sima Qian, he used to write a very famous historian who wrote in nearly Han Dynasty, offered archaeologists great insight on the mausoleum's construction. We learned from him that the tomb is very huge. The coffin of Qin Shi Huang just in the center, palace, imperial housing above ground. Moreover, bobby traps with automatic shooting arrows were installed to defend would-be tomb robbers. Heaven and the earth were represented in the central chamber of the tomb, setting shaped into sun, moon, and stars by the pales, and the germs symbolized the sky, and the ground was an accumulation point of rivers, lakes, and seas, like Yellow River and the Yangtze River, which signs of the earth. It's said that the underground palace was brightly lit by whale oil for eternity. Nowadays, the records in this book have been definitely proved right by some allergies, by some personalities. Okay, let's go to see the Terracotta Army. It is a large collection of the terracotta sculpture in battle formation, reducing the imperial guard troops of Emperor Qin Shi Huang. It's an army for afterlife. What are the terracotta warriors, you may ask? Actually, they are soldiers to guard Emperor Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum and protect him in the afterlife. The life-size warriors are in military arrays, consisting of infant anchors and other arms. After they were made, almost all warriors hold a weapon in right hand. However, the weapons disappeared later for some uncertain reasons. In ancient China, the raw, especially the imperial members, believed that they should lead the same life as they live even after they died. Emperor Qin Shi Huang was a great leader in that time, so after his death, of course, he wanted to get a life just exactly the same. Emperor Qin Shi Huang is the owner of this terracotta army. Emperor Qin Shi Huang is the first emperor in Chinese history and recognized widely as the owner of the terracotta army. As believing in gods and ghosts, Emperor Qin Shi Huang began the construction of his mausoleum no sooner than he ascended the throne, so he could live as he alive in afterlife after he conquered the other 5 states and united China. The power became stronger and stronger. Since then, he started to seek ways to keep immortal. As time passed, he realized that it was impossible to be immortal for a human being. However, he believed that he could still enjoy endless power in the afterlife with the terracotta army protecting his kingdom in the underworld. And from this, you can see workers who built them. During the excavation and the repair work on the terracotta warriors, experts discovered about 30 recognizable names carved to step on the figures. They were found hidden in such places as hips or underarms of the terracotta statues. Actually, the names belong to workers who built them. Generally, the recognized 80 names or so can be divided into 3 types. Names begin with the Chinese character Gong, You, or Da, belong to the government agency. Names with geography location show that the workers are collected from various regions across the country, and the remaining names without any prefix or prefix are called into the unknown workers. You may think, why was the terracotta army built? I think there are several reasons that you may think. The first, Qin Shi Huang considered himself as an unprecedented great emperor in China's history for his achievement, because he did a lot of things to unite the moments. So he unites everything, and he thinks he did a great job for that. With all the achievements, the most brilliant one is defeating other states to unite China. He wanted the later generation to remember his truth over the other states and what his army has done for his country. So he ordered the construction of the army, modeling on the real army of him to show his glory. The second reason, maybe he wanted to rule the underworld in the afterlife. In ancient China, it was said that people would go to another world underground in the afterlife. Qin Shi Huang believed that the inanimate objects such as animal and human statues would come to life in the underworld, so he could still enjoy the emperor's life and rule in the afterlife. With this powerful underground army, he could defend against other states in the underground as well. This can explain why did Qin Shi Huang build the mausoleum and what was purpose of the terracotta warriors. No, from these pictures you can see, no two soldiers were found the same. If you have a chance to look around, you will find that no warriors are alike. Each soldier has distinctive facial expressions. Besides, the hairstyles, clothing of different ranks of soldiers and the military officers also differ from each other. Generally, the warriors' bodies seem similar because they were made using different molds. However, the heads were drawn by each craftsman, modeling on real person. The weapons were so lifelike that some even doubted that they were made using real people. The warriors were once colored. Different from the gray and each yellow appearance you can see now, the terracotta warriors are once colored. They were painted with some natural ingredients. Most soldiers had black hair, just like pink face, in green, white, pink, purple, blue, and white, with different colors in collars and sleeves. Though having been buried underground for more than 2,200 years, they remain the bright colors after being underneath. However, because of the light that when discovering them, the color just fade away. However, what we see today are only a part of the yet unexcavated mausoleum of the Emperor Qin Shi Huang, located to its west. Inside it, greater things are yet to come. Nowadays, what we have found, how many terracottas we have? There are nearly 8,000. In the pit 1, there are more than 6,000 them. They are the soldiers, the normal soldiers, and the generals. We also found that there are horses here. In the pit 2, now we discovered more than 1,300 of them. And in the pit 3, we found almost 7, and there got pit 4, pit 5, and a lot. Because the tomb, the mausoleum, is still under cover, so I think there are a lot of mysteries, a lot of stories will come when we open the mausoleum. That is the imagination, and I hope one day you would come to visit these wonders of the world to really feel how glory the first Emperor Qin Shi Huang feels and how their armies are so very, very beautiful. Also from these terracotta armies, we can also tell the techniques and the very excellent skills for the aircraft man to make them. Above all, we call it 秦始皇兵马俑. Okay, after visiting the mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang, reading such a legendary, next I will show you a very famous mountain in China. You know, China has a lot of famous mountains. Among them, we've got 5. You can see from this picture, we've got the 5 great mountains we called 五岳, in Chinese, 五岳. The 5 great mountains, they just like this, located just like this. We can tell Huashan is just in the east of the 5 of them, so we call it 西岳Huashan. Huashan is very famous for its danger, and I think you can tell how dangerous it is from this picture. Huashan is is from Xi'an, about 120 kilometers. When you go to visit this place, you can enjoy a very beautiful scenery, and these atmospheres, it looks like that you are not human beings. You just become the fairy. We can enjoy the very strange palm trees, and you can enjoy the sunset, sunrise. So because the Xi'an is so high, so when you come, people can experience a very, very legendary scenery. And if you do want to experience how dangerous it is, I recommend you to take another course, just like this. Can you do the things? Just climb the mountains. And if you are not, I think you should take a cable car. While introducing you the Xi'an mountain, I want to tell you, Xi'an is not only has history, it also has a very beautiful nature history. This is the Xi'an, and during another course, I will tell you another one.